Opposites Attract podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How was your day?
How was your week?
How was your life?
Going. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
For another episode. Make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com. When you guys go to our website, you'll see all the ways you can follow the show. You can follow us at Opposite Pod on everything, or search Opposites Attract Podcast on Google, social media, wherever, and you can pull us up. The best thing you can do is share this with somebody else, share a clip with them, let them know that the podcast exists, tell them to subscribe, watch them subscribe, comment, all that stuff.
Make them subscribe.
Yup.
So I've had a few people that have listened to our podcast
Yeah.
and say, Opposites Attract. Why did you guys name it Opposites Attract? You seem like you have a lot in common. And so right before the show, we're getting ready.
No,
right?
we can't play the musics.
Likes to
The musics. We can't play the songs right now.
You know, get hyped up before the show. And, he's playing.
It's late.
Whips and Chains. Some song, Whips and Chains.
By Jack Harlow.
And it is an awesome song, right?
Yeah, it gets you hyped up a little. You know, it's got a good beat.
It's got a good beat.
You can't be.
So
we're going to get taken off of YouTube.
Will we?
Probably.
If I play it?
Yeah.
Because I'm only going to play a little bit just to give them a little insight.
It's going to get us taken.
And here
anyway.
I'm like, I need to get centered. I need to get grounded. We're going to play one of your songs, and then we're going to play one of my songs. And so
we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens. So this is the song that I was listening to just for a bit because Miguel was acting as if he was about to fall asleep. Hey! Anyways, but I can totally see how, because I do feel that we have a lot of commonalities.
Yeah, this was my song.
Yours is the You didn't even let mine play, you jerk. No.
You ain't sleeping through this song.
I'm vanilla, baby.
Yeah.
I'll choke.
Anyway, I don't know.
But I love that song too. I like that song. We dance to that
It's
song.
just a different vibe, and we're about to record a show.
Yeah. But
I ain't trying to fall asleep right now.
But too, there's certain things that I want to talk about that I need to be grounded and centered
But you could bring the energy.
Right? So, yeah.
That's what I did. That's not what you're trying to do?
Shut your face.
That's grounded.
Yeah. Anyways.
So what's up, babe?
On
another note. What's happening?
I don't know. You tell me.
We're doing another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'm back from another week of travel. How was your week with the kids? I know you had
What comes up for me is don't take time for granted.
Yeah.
Right? Don't take time for granted. It still blows my mind that we have an 18-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 12-year-old. Yeah, I remember when they were just babies.
Yeah.
And, Audrey had her boyfriend over and just hanging out with them and sitting back and being present, in the moment. And remembering when I was that age.
When you were 14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just witnessing her in her first relationship and how they are together. They're very loving and fun, goofy.
Right.
Young. They're a young 14 and 15-year-old.
Yeah.
You know? And
they still have some of their innocence, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then Audrey and I, just spending some time together, we were watching a movie. And I remember I was reading this book called Conscious Parenting. If you have not read that book, that's a really good book. And she was talking about when the kids become teenagers, a lot of times they miss being a kid.
They want
right?
to get like nostalgic again.
Yes. And that was her. She wanted to watch, you know, the movies that she watched as
a little girl.
Maybe
we got to get her to watch Toy Story again.
Oh, she probably, yeah, should.
You know, like Toy Story and planes. Remember Airplanes or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
The Disney one?
And we were laughing our butts off watching Boss Baby.
Yeah.
And then she ended up falling asleep on me.
Yeah, you had sent me that picture while I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like you were watching something.
She fell asleep, so I started watching.
You started watching this show, and the show was talking about like being in the moment.
Yes. And I was watching this show with her laying on me.
And she had fell asleep.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't really. So when I heard that, like being in the moment, though I was in the moment, I was watching a movie. So I wasn't like in the moment. And as soon as that reminder came up, like I was with her, but I didn't allow myself to fully take it in. So I stopped what I was watching and just sat in like joy and gratitude, having her as a 14-year-old hugged up, like all on me.
Yeah.
You know, and I just started running my fingers through her hair and watching her as she slept.
That's awesome.
And then Joey and I, you know, he was sleeping with me and just spending that time with him as well. Like those moments are the moments that you can never get back.
Yeah. You know, that's not something that like our family's like gotten, like I came home from this trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the first thing I did when I got through the door is like I give you a big hug, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it, you know, it's like we hug for a little while.
Yeah.
And then with Joey, like same thing. He comes and he hugs me, and
he
he's
jumped
just like,
on you.
And yeah, he jumps on
like
me.
Yeah.
and we just like hold each other for a little while, you know. And same with Audrey.
Hey, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Because that's new for you. At least it is with me. The long hugs.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I feel the difference. And I don't know if it's something that you've witnessed like I do.
Yeah.
It's something that I learned how to really hug. And it's not just hugging. It's what it feels like to me.
It's like hugging 2.0.
I am transferring like my love, like my energy, the love and just everything within me when I hold you. And not only am I hugging you, but I'm thinking, man, I love this man.
Yeah.
Right? And just hugging you and holding you. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. And hugging the kids that way. So if you're listening to this, try it.
Yeah.
Most people do not hug for 20 seconds.
And that's what not only that, but what I was going to bring up is like in my family growing up, my mom's side of the family is affectionate.
Yes, they are.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And even my dad's side of the family is also affectionate. Mm-hmm. You know, like I've been pretty fortunate in my family that everybody's been affectionate, but it's not like that with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, even though like I've said on here growing up, like my dad, you know, maybe he was working in the evening, so I didn't spend as much time with him. But when I did, you know, he was affectionate, you know?
Yeah.
And, but your family wasn't always like that. And I remember like even recently you talking to somebody,
my brother
in the family, and you're like turn, give me a hug, bring your hips in, like, let's hug.
Yeah,
You
like
know?
I want a full
And-
hug. I don't want a side hug, but it's the way to it's teaching and not making them feel bad about it.
Yeah, you
It's
were kinda
here,
like
I'm
joking
Let me
around.
I'm like, let me show you how to hug. Let me show you how to hug. But it's
Yeah.
yeah. And it's something that I've learned just being around my friends, like being around like coaches and having certain experiences and just really diving into to me. And you can definitely feel the difference when you give that kind of hug. Not only that, but like when you're making love to your partner, you know, it's very intimate when you are holding your partner, like if, you know, you're making love, not like crazy wild sex, but like that intimate, deep breathing where your bodies just like melts into each other and you become one. No, wrong music. It needs to be more like a, you know,
I don't want no whips and chains.
no, not that either. No. And just like holding. I know you feel this. Like I know you felt that today, this morning. I know you felt that. And it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference when you allow yourself to be just so vulnerable and to just give in to what you're feeling and tapping into all 5 of your senses. You know, like when we are making love, I am tasting you. I am smelling you. I am taking all of you in.
Alrighty then.
Right? Like it's just full on like, yeah, this is going to be a great one. We're going to have some people are going to be trying to make a baby after this podcast. No. And it's not something that we've always done, right? Because I liked it really rough.
Yeah.
A lot. And I've softened. I mean, there's times where not, you know, I want it nice.
What the fuck are you doing right now?
I'm helping some couples out here, man.
Yeah, of course. Everybody likes it different ways, different times.
Right. But what I'm saying is be in the moment. That's what all this is being in the moment.
Yeah.
And
do that.
And making sure that you are fully connected. Because it does make a huge difference. Try it and give us a call to let us know how it went for you. 480
331 9846.
There you go. Again.
480 331 9846.
And you can send me flowers. I'll leave the address.
No.
It's going to help them in their relationship. Trust me.
Yeah.
Do you not agree?
It's true.
Do you have anything you would like to share on your behalf? Miguel's a little shy when it comes to this stuff.
No, you shared it. You pretty much shared it all.
Yeah. Well, I was sharing
good job,
my
Ray.
part, you know, but I know.
I just shared mine. You heard it.
He's full of shit.
That's my part. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So be in the moments,
Yes.
no matter what it is you're doing, even if it's just you, like you're with you. So the kids were playing outside. It was such a beautiful day. I don't remember what day it was.
Was it when it was raining?
Maybe
yesterday?
Wednesday? No,
wasn't here?
it was the sun. You weren't here. The sun was out. There was like a light breeze. It was absolutely beautiful, perfect. And I got the blanket that I take to go, when we go on a picnic, and I just laid it in the front, and I laid outside, and I had my book and my water and everything, and I was just taking in the moment. The birds chirping, eating, just the hummingbirds. And at first I was listening to music, and then I just turned it off, and I'm like, I'm going to listen to the earth's music.
Yeah.
The wind, my chimes I have in the front, and just, taking in the day. because a lot of times the day tends to go by so fast because we're always so busy. And there's times where you just have to kind of slow down and take a breath in, breathe in gratitude, breathe in. And I think that's a lot of time when people are going through hard times in their lives, like challenges and obstacles, they tend to forget the things that really matter.
Yeah. You know what's something that came up to me recently? I remember like we were driving somewhere and this thought came up and then a movie came up related to it. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like you were just saying like when you're going through a hard time, right?
Yeah.
But maybe not exactly what you're saying, but it's like this time is hard and you want to get through it,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what is the most precious thing in life? It's time. It's the time that you have. Because once it's over, right? Mm-hmm. And even though you're going through a hard time in your life, to want it to go by faster almost seems wrong, you know? Even though it may be a hard time in your life, right?
Yeah.
And then it reminded me kind of like the movie Click, you know, like when he's just like fast forwarding through parts of his life.
Yes.
You know, parts that frustrate him, parts that are boring, parts that, you know, and then before you know it, it's like, well, that's what actually makes up your life.
So when you read as time goes by, like we have grown even from 4 months ago, right? Like we continue to focus on growth. Like for me, I feel that it's every day I am growing. I think I put, 1%, like focus on being better than 1%. And it's crazy how you can read a book like a year ago, right? And you've been working on you and focusing on becoming better and whatever. And you see that book again and you're like, I really like that book. You know what? I'm going to read it again. And you start reading the book and there's so many things that you didn't get the very first time you read it, or you read it, but you really didn't get it because you were in a different state. You were in a different space. And I remember watching Click the first time, and it was such a funny movie, and I enjoyed it, and it was so good.
If you guys haven't seen it, it's with Adam Sandler. Yeah, check it out.
Like it was a good book, or a good movie. And then when we watched it last time, it made me sad.
It was sad, right?
Yeah, like it made me sad because I could relate when I did some of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can relate to times when I was like, God, I wish this day would be over, or God, I wish, this or that, whatever. Right?
Yeah. You know what's a simple, like stupid, like one of the dumbest examples of that? Is when you're like super into, like, at least for a guy, that were into like football or the NFL. And it's like the football season was like such a big deal. And you loved football so much that you couldn't wait for the fucking season to come around. And it's like kickoffs in September. And then the season only lasts till freaking January, February. And then when it's over, you're freaking sad. And it's like, oh, football's over. And then now you're waiting and you're hoping that the time just goes by quick until football starts again in September. You know, it's like, that's a fucking stupid way to live.
Were you that before?
I used to like football like that.
Like that?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I remember, like, I didn't know it was that deep.
I mean, I would get sad. I was like, oh shit. Like there's nothing to watch on the weekends anymore.
Yeah.
And I want to watch my team play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's dumb.
Yeah. Those are the things that change Like the more you grow, the wiser you become. You just realize what's really important in life. And why does it take us so long to understand this? I don't understand. Like, it takes us so long to understand this.
What, just to be?
Like, yeah.
Just to be in the moment and enjoy it?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Like, it took 3 decades. I think I started working on it then, but I'm really more in tune with it now. I think when I had turned 40, there was a big shift. Remember, I've always told you, like, there's something about that number because you hear a lot of people talking about like 40 and 50, you know, but it's like, it takes us so long to recognize that. And half of our life is already, yeah.
Yeah, you know, there was something that you were telling me that you wanted me to get you, and I have to remember to get it for you. But it was a calendar or like a countdown.
Yes.
And it's like a little thing where you can switch the amount of days that you've lived versus the amount of days that you have left. Right? And that's
how many
based
days
off
you have
of
left to
live.
live. Yes.
Based off of like an average age of like 83 or something like that, right?
Yes.
So like every day you're switching the amount of days that you've been alive.
Yeah.
And however many days you have left to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like a crazy way to like actually see your days.
And some people would find it quite depressing.
Yeah,
but I don't. Like, I don't.
How would you look at it?
Man, it would help me to see what my priorities, just keeping my priorities straight, right? Like, with the kids, with you, with my growth, the things that I want to do in this lifetime, writing my book, right? Like, that's a reality check right there. Yeah. That's a reality check.
True.
You know?
But
it's taking every day, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy like make every day count. It's just making the moment count, like being in the moment with the kids, with you, with doing what I want to do, like, you know, growing my business and writing the book and going outside when it's a beautiful day and laying in the sun and playing with the dogs and playing with the neighbor's kids, like whatever. It was raining yesterday, right? Yeah. It was raining yesterday and today. And we're redoing our drip system, and our landscaper was outside and it started raining, and he was like running under so that he wouldn't get wet. And I'm like, are you afraid of the rain?
Yeah.
You know, and that used to be me too. Now it's just like, let's go play in the rain. I mean, I didn't tell him that, but
yeah,
I told him.
He's like, I got a drip system to put in.
But
but I got a drip system.
No, but I did remind him.
Yeah.
Right? Like I did, you know, as a kid, would you run away from the rain or would you run to the rain? As children, we would run to the rain. We would play in the puddles.
Yeah.
You know, it's our parents that were like, get in, you're going to get sick. No, let them play in the rain. Let them be, let them experience.
Yeah.
You know, that's the conditioning. Get inside, you're going to get sick.
It's not even true.
Rain. You know?
Yeah.
Versus just letting them go and play in the puddle. Let them play in the dirt. Let them be a kid for as long as they can. Yeah. And that I was telling, I don't know, one of the kids, Joey, you were there when I was having this conversation with him.
Yeah.
Joey likes playing with kids that are younger than him. And while Miguel was gone, one of his friends stayed the night. And I'm here and I'm listening, and it's so cute because they are laughing so hard and jumping like off the sofas. They put the jujitsu mats on the floor.
Yeah.
And they put the big fluffy pillows on top of the jujitsu mat. And they were
nice.
freaking just jumping like onto the pillows and playing. And they had all the Transformers out. You know, and before I would go out and be like, you guys better clean this mess up. Yeah. Right? Like I would, because I just cleaned the house that day too.
Yeah. You can't have this shit all tore up.
But those are the things that I had to learn to let go.
Yeah.
So I go, you know, I'm listening to them and they're laughing and they're playing. And I just realized why Joey likes to play with kids that are younger than him. And it's because they're still young at heart. Yeah. You know, they built a little fort, right? Yeah. And I know when he has his older friends.
Yeah, they're not going to be making forts and stuff. They want to play video games.
Right. And Joey likes to play.
Yeah.
And that's true. And I told him, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody says. Continue to play.
Well, it's different too, though, because he doesn't have video games the way his other friends do.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a computer the way his other friends do. He's got a computer that it struggles. You know, he can't play game. He can't be a gamer.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a Nintendo Switch with some games, you know, but he's not on it all the time.
Yeah.
He also doesn't have any social media, you know?
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking about that. Like the social media thing also is having an impact on our kids. Our kids are different because they don't have social media.
Yeah. You know, I think about that at times, and it's like, are we sheltering our kids? Are they going to struggle when it comes to technology, or, you know what I'm saying, maneuvering when it comes to, because I could give Joey my phone and there's only so much he can do with it because he's not familiar.
Yeah. Not like most kids can just like do whatever on a phone.
Yeah. Our kids did not, because you'll see a lot of parents in the stores anywhere. Their kids either have a phone, but when they're babies, like they're little, you know what I'm saying?
But
toddlers, and they give them the phone to keep them busy.
Yeah. No, today it's crazy when you see it in the store. Like today we went somewhere and I saw a kid in the cart, just like, it was like one of these art pictures that I saw where like the phone was like sucking them in. You know, you've seen like where it's got tentacles and it's like grabbing their head and sucking them into the phone. But that's how the kid looked in the cart. It was just like head like straight down, just like.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like just gone. I was like, holy shit. And that's how you just keep the kid under control and do whatever you need to do when you're doing your shopping, when you're doing whatever. You
know, and we don't recognize the things that we do as parents. So
it's so much easier.
Yes, yes. And we have to see the innocence within us too, right? Like if you guys are listening to this and you're like, shit, that's what I did. It's okay. A lot of people did. It's okay. See the innocence in yourself. Like don't be so hard on yourself, you know, but recognize it, be aware. You know, I have a client that I'm working with right now, and she's been struggling like with her weight always. And I started taking her through the process of figuring out where did this disconnect happen? What happened, right? And she started sharing with me that when she was a little girl, and I don't know if I shared this on a previous podcast, but either way, when she was a little girl, to keep her busy, they would give her snacks, like food, just, you know. And not only that, but then when she started getting older, when she had a rough day, or something bad happened, it was like, let's go get you some ice cream. Or here, this will make you feel better.
Yeah, to ease the pain, to soothe
And it was always something sweet.
Yeah.
And so there goes the endorphins, right?
Yeah.
And so it's so crazy that it's something that we don't even recognize, that this is going to cause a struggle. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
You know, but for her to recognize where it came from. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So as parents, we're unaware.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about it last week, that it's not like these things, like they're just part of us. You just become aware of them. And then you can just understand what it is that you're dealing with when these thoughts come up.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's the way of mastery that is like little by little, it's like they don't affect you. You just know what it is. It's like it is what it is.
And we've been so used to doing the same thing, like our subconscious patterns, that we don't even recognize, we don't even see it. Like we don't even understand at times why we're feeling depressed or why we're sad or why we're feeling anxious, or we are so disconnected from our thoughts because we don't even pay attention. You know, like we just don't pay attention. We're just going throughout our day and not even recognizing that we've caused this emotion within us because of the thoughts or the way we've been talking to ourselves the entire day. And then we wonder why we feel so sad.
What do you mean, like talking to ourselves? Like how does a way of talking to yourself cause you to feel a certain way?
Okay, so say you're trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is something that you've been battling for a very long time. And you go to a dinner party and there's dessert. And you end up having some dessert. How do you think that self-talk is going to sound?
Ooh, this dessert was delicious.
How do you...
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the struggle though, you know what I'm saying? For some of us, it's not that. Like today, you know, like we went out. Like I used to have those thoughts. Like I used to be mean. I used to like be really hard on myself for doing that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what keeps you down.
Yeah.
Because instead of...
At a certain point, you have to start doing something about it.
Yes.
You know, and also like you can have like, cause I can have negative self-talk with myself. Like, I mean, if you're watching,
yeah,
you can probably tell I've gained some pounds. You know, I'm not as slim as I always have been, but like my negative self-talk can only be so negative because I know what I do. You know what I mean?
You're very strong-minded though.
But what the only reason that I can be strong-minded is because I've done it before, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That shit just doesn't just fucking happen.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere, and then once you've done it once, then next time you could be rough with yourself a little bit and then be like, I got this. I've done it before. And then the next time you're rough a little bit, and then it's like, I've got this. I've done it before. And then before you know it, it's not even a fucking thing because it's like, I know what I do. I do this shit.
Yeah. But when you have been struggling for years and say you take off the weight and then you go back into your old patterns, and you start to feel guilt and you start to feel shame. And you're trying to get yourself to go to the gym, but then you're thinking about what everybody else is going to think or what they're thinking within. Like, oh my God, she gained all this weight. Like, oh, no. And I don't think, maybe it's different for women than what it is men.
Maybe
because trust me, I've talked to many women, including myself.
No, I'm sure it is.
You know, and it's harder. It's self-defeating. It's self-sabotage.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, fuck, I've already put on this weight. Guess it won't help. You know, I guess it won't hurt to eat another donut.
I do that all the
and,
time.
And you're doing it to, and it feels good for the moment.
But then you
until
always
it
feel bad
doesn't.
as soon as you're done.
Right.
As soon as you're done.
And then now you're back into this dark place.
But
And
that's
it's so self-defeating until you really get sick and tired of, you know what it is though? It's self-love. It is. It is self-love. Because when you start to recognize what it's doing internally, like health-wise,
yeah,
and you realize the importance of, everything shifts when you really start to fall in love with you.
So you're going to stop eating ice cream?
No.
Because you really fall in love with yourself.
No. What I'm saying is there's a balance.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I thought you were saying like now that everything stops, like it's only sprouts.
No. No.
Because this is
There's
what's
a
good for me.
balance. There's a balance. Instead of taking the whole entire bag of chips, you get a bowl.
Yeah.
Right? And you put some chips in the bowl. Whatever. You balance.
You have
There's
some
a
difference.
balance.
Discipline. Yeah. Yeah. But even still, though, discipline is doing the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you have to start is like, because that's what I'm saying. Like I've let myself go recently, but I don't have to beat myself up that much. I know.
Yeah.
Before, maybe when I first had done it for the first time, I was kind of rough on myself. Yeah. But after you do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it's like, well, whatever. I'll lose 25 pounds again.
I wonder if that's just a man, like how you guys think and how you feel.
But I don't think so, because you've done it just as many times as I have.
I know. And it is like just
and the thing is
frustrating.
That if it's even you're going to say it's harder.
And it's hard. Yeah.
If it's even harder for a woman, then it should give you even more confidence to know that you can do it, because it's even harder and you've done it so many times. You know what I mean? So like next time, if you're getting out of shape, it's like, all right, when I make this fucking decision, it's on again.
Yeah. But the thought is, wouldn't it just be easier
just to maintain
if you just maintain and I know, like,
it would be easier, but it's not as delicious.
Like right now, I think I weigh like 130. 115 is hard for me to maintain. I can get there. It's hard to maintain that.
Okay.
Right? 130, I've been 130 and maintained it for a long time. So 130 is like good for me. Right? You can't, if you are going to the gym like nonstop and eating salads and, just eating very minimal, how long are you going to be able to keep that consistent?
Yeah. You can't do that forever.
Like you're setting yourself up for failure. And a lot of times that's what we do. Because there is a certain weight that that is healthy and that you can maintain. And I think it's just knowing you, like knowing your body, knowing you, knowing where you feel good.
Yeah. But I think like everybody's different. And for the majority of people, this shit comes in cycles.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with those fucking cycles. All right.
I guess.
Or you know what? You know what you can also do? Fucking fight it your whole life. How about you do that instead?
Yeah. No, that's
fucking
not fun.
fight it your whole life.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It's just
or you know what?
Yeah.
I'm getting fucking chubby right now. And guess what's coming next? I'm going to get back in fucking shape. And it's okay.
Yeah.
But right now I'm in ice cream mode.
Yeah.
Which sounds delicious.
And I really feel it is easier for men. Because men don't look bad when they're heavy. Men aren't judged when they're heavy. that's where like the self-love. It's like when you love you, you don't give a shit about what anybody else says.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're okay with you. And that's the thing. What you said something like either you're going to do something about it.
You change the situation.
Yeah. Change the situation.
You do something about it.
Or it's like you're happy where you're at.
Or,
right?
or you
like
have to accept it totally.
Yeah. You're happy where you're at.
That's what it was. Accept it totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that in itself right there. Like that's like it is what it is. I'm happy where I'm at and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing and I'm going to own it. Like just own it.
A perfect example of that is like if somebody right now told me something, I'd be like, whatever. Like I don't give I've gained some weight. I accept that I've gained some weight. And when I feel like it, I'll change it. When I'm done, like if you're done being, like if you're done with that situation, whatever it is, you can either accept it, which I accept it, or when I'm done with this situation, it's like, all right, I'm changing it. That's it.
Right.
And you do something about it.
Yeah. And that's with everything in life. Right? When you think about like your career, your relationship, where you're at, all of it.
But
because then you won't torture yourself. Like if you're just like, you know what? I'm happy where I'm at. And
so now that we're getting into that, is that kind of what like part of the issue is not accepting it? Is just accept, like, it's just what it is.
Well, you don't have to accept it if you don't want to accept it. But if you're going to accept it, then accept it. Own it. I can't remember where I read that at. There was a book. It was something like that too.
Yeah.
Like why torture yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but talking about like precious moments and all that, we've been backing up, or I've been backing up the computers. And one of the things that I've been backing up is like the births of the kids. And that's something that it came up recently. I can't remember who we were talking to. Oh, we were, I think we were doing that breathing.
Breath work?
Yeah, breath work thing that we went to a few weeks back or a couple months ago. And one of the things that they brought up was like the trauma that you go through like as soon as you're born.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like really good about like what we had done. Not that, you know, like it was something that we had heard about. We learned about it, got more information, and we ended up having the kids at home in our backyard in the hot tub with a midwife. They were both water births. Yeah. And so it was really cool. Like they were talking about like, you know, when the baby's born, they come out into all these lights. And it's true. Like you never.
Yeah.
It's so, talk about brainwashing, right? And being conditioned. Just like the thought that people have that when you have a baby, when a kid is being born, that you do this in a hospital with these bright lights and the doctors, and it's all sterile with gloves in a surgery room and all this. Like, that seems kind of crazy because if you think about any other creature that gives birth, it's like a very intimate thing. It's dark. It's quiet.
Hospitals are for sick people.
Right? Yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
Right? People are dying. And this is like, you're giving birth. Life.
You're giving life.
Right? So, yeah, and it's a very intimate thing. So when they were talking about like the trauma that, like, it's like trauma as soon as you're born.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about our kids, and it was like they were born in the hot tub. And as soon as they were born, they were placed on your chest. You got out, you went to the bedroom, you lay down in our bed. They were weighed in the bed, and then they were given to you. And then we just all laid down for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how it was just a completely.
And they came from water and went into water.
Yeah.
They came from, you know. And watching the birth, actually, because I came in while you were watching them.
Yeah.
The babies were not spanked.
No, they rubbed their back until they started
They
crying.
rubbed their back or the bottom of their feet. And They were.
I don't think they do that. I don't think they do that in the hospital. I don't think they smack them.
I don't.
Do they?
I don't. Well,
maybe sometimes they do.
Yeah, probably not anymore. But it's poking and prodding.
Yeah, they do
Immediately.
Right, they take them away.
Because I was there when my niece had both her babies in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it's immediately like poking, prodding, and checking them and putting this cold, what are the heart?
Oh, the stethoscope.
Yeah, right on top of them and just, yeah, so many. Yeah, it's crazy.
But it was cool to like see, like to watch those videos. I actually delivered Joey. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of things that we've done that have been different. Even just the diapers. They used disposable diapers. I mean, not disposable. They used washable diapers.
Yes.
Reusable.
Yeah. Were you okay with that at the beginning?
It was fine. I mean, we had a freaking system down. As long as we got a system down, we had little bags and we would throw the diapers in there and then we would throw them in the wash. And yeah, it used to work good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think they've ever had a rash.
We've been hippies forever.
That I remember.
I mean, no, they would have them every once in a while, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was as much as like regular babies get rashes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Pam, our midwife, I don't know what gave me that idea to use cloth diapers.
I think it was her.
Yeah, maybe.
We learned through her, I think.
Yeah. And I remember I found her.
I mean, well, I think one of the things that, me, I think we can save some money using these reusable diapers. So I was like, let's look into it. And then you start finding out some benefits and it's like, all right, well, let's try it. No, I think it was because of Pam. But one of the selling points was that you could save money.
Yeah.
So we did have diapers.
They were like Genie.
Yeah, we had diapers from time to time. But for the most part, we used the reusable diapers. Like we would use the other ones if we needed them for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we did things differently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch those videos. And it seems like so long ago now, like you were talking about, like we have the youngest is 12 years old now.
And he's as tall as me. I was wearing his slippers today.
And he's about to start junior high.
Jeez. Ugh. Yeah, this is, when you think about life and how much time we have, it's crazy.
All righty then.
We're all just thinking like there's so much that goes into that. You just got to really know who you are. Like, who am I? It's like that post I put up.
Yeah, what was that?
I was on I went to meet a friend of mine. Well, a new friend. I met him at another friend's house, and he's from India, and I was sharing with him my experience in India. And I told him how long I was there and that I went alone, like you weren't with me. And he's like, you are brave.
Yeah. Dude, the more I think about it, like the crazier I think it is.
Yeah. He's like, you are brave. He's like, you are my new hero. He's like, because I've been here for a long time. And he's like, I went to India for 2 weeks and I was like, I got to get back,
Yeah.
And he's like, so he was very interested in hearing my story and how everything went. So we ended up meeting at the library and we were just talking about we were in such deep conversation and it started raining. So we went inside the library and we were talking about God and purpose. And, I was sharing with him my practice and some of the things that I've been able to help my clients release, like trauma and pain and, and just talking to him and talking about like purpose. And we're such deep into this conversation as we're walking, we're turning a corner. And then he points to me. He says, look on the wall. And on the wall, it's in big black and white, like, who am I?
Yeah.
And I was talking about like the importance of asking that question of who am I? Like, what is it that I want in this life? Like, what makes me happy? What makes me me?
Yeah.
You know, because so many of us live our lives for other people. You know, and when I think about that, I think about like someone who is born, like say mom and dad owns a business and it's been a family business for a long time. It's been in the family and it's like,
you gotta
hey,
take it over.
Yes. But do you? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that was not your dream. That was their dream. That's what they decided to do.
Yeah.
But you're, you know, holding you to continuing to build this family business.
Or it could be.
Yeah. Or it could be. But there's so many times that we care so much about what other people think or what other people would say.
Is there a period in life that's kind of like where you're trying to be what you think a good version of yourself, or what a good version of what people think of you would be? Like you're trying to be that.
Ew, that's exhausting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's exhausting. It is. That is exhausting. And it's kind of like, you had showed me this video on YouTube or something about this man who's on his deathbed.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he's having a conversation with his wife. And it made me so sad because
the paradox of being nice.
This is going to be so many like people, if they don't wake up on their deathbed, realizing that they don't even know who they are.
Yeah. That that they've lived their whole life just for other people and just never really been themselves because they've always hid themselves from everybody.
They wanted to please everyone else. Like he was sharing with his wife, like, you don't even know, like, know me. Like and it was because, he was just doing that. He was so busy trying to keep everyone happy. He's like, I don't even know me. Like, if I don't know me, you don't know me. Like, there's nobody. That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, definitely check that video out. It was called The Paradox of Being Nice. But I think part of it, like the thoughts started coming because part of the story was that he had a date, but he was starting to live past that date, which when you start living past the date that you're supposed to die, it makes you start think about, makes you start to think about certain things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not even supposed to be alive right now. Mm-hmm. And then he started, I think, getting upset that he lived his life for everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's tough.
And his wife is sitting there and she's just like, tell me who you are.
What does your purpose have to do with like what you do for a living? Does it always intertwine? Are they always the same?
If you're miserable, like if you're miserable, like you really hate your job or your career, it's not for you.
Yeah.
But your purpose doesn't always have to be your career. Your purpose could be your purpose could be leading by example.
But isn't it like in everything, like when you get good at something, and isn't that what your purpose is? Like you're constantly growing towards something. And what are you doing when you're coaching? You're teaching. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, regardless of whatever you get good at, you teach.
Yeah, it's to serve.
Is that what it is?
It's to serve. You know what? I can't speak for everyone else. I can only speak for me. What makes me happy is serving. It's making a difference in someone else's life. Like,
well, because I'm saying, like, even you could even think about like the person that's good at work. Mm-hmm. Like I've even talked about on this podcast, like coming across people in my career where they're the type of person where, like, I've always had something on the side. Like I love what I do, but I also am my own person. You know, there's a lot of people that are like their identity is their job, their career, their position, what they do.
Yeah.
And they're very good at what they do because that's their focus of their life. That's their passion. They're passionate about that. But even for those people, when they teach somebody else how to do what they're passionate about, they feel fulfilled. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So no matter what, when you're teaching something that you're good at, it gives you that feeling.
Yeah. It's service.
Yeah.
But your job doesn't always have to be your purpose.
It doesn't.
If that's what you were asking.
No.
Like it, you know, it's could be doing the thing on the side that you're doing, whether it's volunteering or, you know, whatever that may be. I think I talked about this on the last podcast. I mean, your purpose could be being that mom to raise these beautiful kids so that they can fulfill whatever it is that they are here to fulfill, or being that supportive, loving wife to your husband so that he can fulfill whatever it is that he is here to fulfill.
Yeah. It
could be that teacher who is teaching all these amazing, beautiful children, the next generation. Maybe that's her, you know, purpose is that, but it's whatever. And the answer lies within the heart.
Yeah.
Your purpose doesn't have to be something extravagant. It's what brings joy to your heart, to your soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you're in that, you know, like I feel 100% that I am doing what I'm here to do, to teach others. And it's funny because it's just everything that I've learned throughout my life that got me to this beautiful life that I'm living, like living with peace and joy. And it's not always that, right? Like I was talking to you guys about my struggle, you know, I talk about my struggles, my inner struggles that I have. It's not always that, but it's more often than not.
Yeah.
Right. But to have all the other emotions, it's human. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel fear. It's okay. Right. Like it's part of who we are. It's questioning what it is that you're feeling and not running from it, but questioning.
You know, that was something that came up recently that we talked about, where like how a lot of times we feel like we're not doing enough. And it seems like that's a common thing for a lot of people, right? Like you're supposed to be better. You're supposed to be
doing
further
more.
ahead.
Yes.
You're supposed to be, you know, and I was telling you that maybe like back in the day when we needed to survive, like really survive, like we had to go get food, like that had to be a constant feeling that we had to have. You know what I mean?
We were in survival mode.
Yeah, like because if you didn't get your food, you were going to die. If you didn't get your shelter, you were going to die. If you didn't get the water, you were going to die.
Right.
Like everything freaking led to death.
Right.
So it's like you have this retreat coming up and you have it, you know, we got so many spots and we got to get this thing planned out. And if that doesn't work, then the event's not going to be a success. And then the people aren't going to like it. And then they're not going to come back, or they're not going to even come in the first place. And then it's going to fail. And then we're not going to make money. And then we're going to starve. And then we're going to die.
All the thoughts.
You know, like everything leads back to like, it's going to be a disaster and we're going to die. But the truth is, it's like, it's 2024. We've evolved. Like, we have skills. You know, like, it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Just do it and try it. And just do the best you can at it. Yeah. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Well, it's not that it doesn't work.
Because even still, like, even in, like, your career, people have had this, and I've had this feeling where you've been in your position for 5 years, right? And now you know that if something was to happen with this company, I've at least been in this position for long enough that I have some experience, that if there's layoffs, I'm valuable enough that hopefully I don't get the axe, right? Mm-hmm. But a new position comes up and you're like, ooh, maybe I can apply for that. Mm-hmm. But if I apply for that, I'll be the brand new person on that team. Mm. And if layoffs come, I'll be the one to go, and then I'm fucked. And then I don't have a job, and then I'm going to be on the street, and then I'm not going to have food, and then I'm going to die.
So imagine.
You know what I mean?
Those are
all, but it's not fucking logical.
Right. But those are all your thoughts. How do you think you're going to feel?
Right. But it's weird that these are the thoughts that we have, because it's not logical, because you could apply for this job and maybe you get laid off.
Yeah.
But what are the skills that you had that gave you the ability to apply for that job?
Right.
Can you take those skills and, okay, maybe times are a little tight for a little while? Because the thing is, like, okay, and I don't have a job. I don't have money coming in. I'm not going to be able to eat. Like, how many times have you starved to death? I can guarantee you none, because you're fucking listening. Right? Like, there is always a way that you figure it out. You'll be okay until next time. And then you find another job, you apply, you start working your way up. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're going to be all right. Not everything leads to death.
Yeah.
It's not so extreme all the damn time.
Yeah. No, we've had some rough times. You know?
Yeah. But even still, when you look back at it, it's like we were never hungry.
No. Yeah.
We were good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to take some chances. Just do it. Go for it.
Yeah.
And don't worry about how it's going to turn out. Just do the best you can at it. And then figure it out.
Yes, yes.
Right?
And with that,
make sure we didn't even do the ads. No, nothing.
You did not.
Make sure you go to our website, Opposites Attract Podcast. Tell them about Buy Me a Coffee, where they can support us in a different way.
And do what?
Buy us a coffee. .com/oppositepod.
Yeah.
You can subscribe on a monthly basis. And follow us at Opposite Pod on everything. All of our social media. Share it with a friend.
You're fired.
What are you talking about?
I love you.
I love you too. What'd I do?
Absolutely nothing. No.
480-331-9846.
Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.